Formula One heads to Monza for the last European race of the year, the Italian Grand Prix. So this is our last stop on the European calendar as well before the flyaway begins. 2 weeks time, we're in Singapore, Japan, back to back as well with it. Then a 2-week break before we go over to the United States and Mexico, a further 2 weeks break, and then Brazil and Abu Dhabi round out the 2022 season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, 109-point advantage Max Verstappen holds over that of both Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, who are level on points. George Russell is in 4th now, just ahead of Carlos Sainz in 5th. Lewis Hamilton is closing up on that battle as well in 6th position. He's well clear now of Lando Norris, who's well clear of Esteban Ocon, who is in a battle with his teammate Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas at Alfa Romeo rounding out the top 10. The second half of the page sees Kevin Magnussen 2 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, a point clear of Daniel Ricciardo, who's a point clear of Pierre Gasly. Further back in 15th as well, Mick Schumacher's on 12 points, battling Yuki Tsunoda's on 11, 5 points apiece for Zhou Guanyu and Lance Stroll, 4 points for Alexander Albon, still no points for Nicholas Latifi, and Nico Hülkenberg only completing 2 races at the start of the year. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull now have a massive lead in the championship, 511 points to Ferrari's 376. Mercedes are only 30 points back. They are closing them down in 3rd position. Alpine are in a battle on their own as well, McLaren 24 points back from them, but they are 50 clear exactly of Alfa Romeo in 6th position, who are in a battle with Haas and AlphaTauri. Joining that battle last time out though, Aston Martin with Stroll getting points. Williams are 10th with 4 points, all coming the way from Alexander Albon. It's second practice from the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Let's take a look around Monza, a 3.599 mile circuit, 11 corners. Been on the calendar now ever since the beginning, only missed 1 race, and it's celebrating its 100th year. Starting at the exit of the Parabolica, it's an important step to get a good exit and carry the speed all the way down as you start the lap, down towards turn 1, the Rettifilo from 8th gear, 350 kilometers an hour, brake down all the way to 2nd gear at 90 kilometers an hour. Tight exit as well as you approach the Curva Grande as well. Rise up again at the exit of turn 3. You're doing 7th gear, 295. Before you come into the Dalla Roggia chicane, you brake from 8th gear, 330 kilometers an hour, down into 3rd gear at 130 kilometers an hour. Rising up to the 2 Lesmos then, the Curva di Lesmo 1, 5th gear, 200 kilometers an hour. The 2nd Lesmo slightly banked on the way in as well, 6th gear, 270. Rising now down the straight with the DRS open as well. You reach maximum once again, all the way 8th gear, 305 kilometers an hour as you approach the braking zone. Once again into the Ascari chicane, down into 5th gear, 240 at the exit. Down the back straightaway now towards the Parabolica. You have no DRS, you're relying completely on ERS as you come down. Once again, 8th gear, 340 miles an hour, down, brake, 6th gear, 270 kilometers. Ride the exit as well of the Parabolica. Don't go over the white line or your lap time will be deleted. And that is a blast around the Temple of Speed. Hello everybody and welcome to the second practice session for the 2022 Italian Grand Prix. A weekend as well where the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth and mainly the entire world as well sort of slowly grind to a halt and are unsure how to deal with the emotion as well of losing Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II as well. His Royal Highness King Charles III arrived at Buckingham Palace about an hour and a half ago as well as to commence his duties as king, and the UK is now in a state of mourning as well, and the impact being felt around the world as well. Formula One as an international sport, has decided to keep on going, but showing great tribute to Her Majesty as well. And with it, a very different looking broadcast as well across the weekend as well, with everything coming through. And after being absent in Free Practice 1, the music's back on Sky, as you can hear in the background. But Josh is alongside me for Free Practice 2's commentary, and it's a very weird situation Formula One is finding themselves in at the moment as well, as we get ready for Practice 2 this afternoon. It's a very strange situation that us as Brits are finding ourselves in as well.
Yeah, it really, really is. And me being down in the south, the Queen had a lot to do with the south. I'm probably a half an hour drive from Romsey, where she spent a lot of her time. So down here, it really, really is somber.
Absolutely, and around the world as well, there's been messages of...
There goes my drink flying.
Oh God, did it spill on the floor?
No, it just slid across the desk.
That's great news then as well. It's okay, not flying over. But yeah, so it's black shirts or a white shirt with an armband as well throughout the weekend for broadcasting teams as well. And I don't think... Well, Sky F1 this morning aired no music and no introduction. But we've just had an introduction from Sky as normal. And we're unsure whether or not we'll be having the full F1 theme, or like this morning, a simple title card will place over, and then we'll go into the proceedings as well for Practice 2. So that explains why this weekend we're on slightly earlier as well, and having our disjointed times, just because we are unsure of the process as a watch-along commentary as well. That sync up with radio as well, broadcasting as well to sync up. So we're just all out of it as well. But delighted to tell you as well that we have got a race going on here, and in the first practice session, Josh, as well, it was a Ferrari 1-2, and they look really quick as well. Leclerc topping from Sainz in second, but we knew Verstappen had more pace, but he got held up by Lando Norris as well. 5-place grid penalty coming from Max Verstappen. Who on earth is going to take pole position from your point of view?
It's difficult. It's only early days for Ferrari. I think the week started very, very well for Ferrari, with the truck breaking down on the way
Yes.
to Monza from Zandvoort. That was probably the best start which they could have. Sarcastic.
Yeah, and especially after the strategy errors, just more strategy errors they keep on making with themselves as well, coming through. Free Practice 2 is moments away, just to allow you as well, 6 minutes and 25 seconds to be precise as well, on our slightly modified battle screen this weekend as well, because the Monza track is so small. Oh, hello, what's happened here? Because the Monza track is so small, the driver tracker sort of has to be shrunken in as well. So that's why everything looks a bit different coming here as well. There are the results from last weekend's races popping up here on the battle screen. But we are getting ready for this one, and Practice 2 is coming up. From what I understand, we're going to have a normal introduction to the session, but we're about to find out, so I'm going to hand over as well to Sky Sports F1 to see what they're going to give us in this session. So let's take a look.
Just bringing up to date with our rejigged schedule in light of events back in the UK. First of all, there'll be no F1 show this evening. On Saturday, we'll be back from 11:45 with our build-up to Practice 3. Shorter build-up to qualifying from 2:30 on Saturday, and the same with the race, with just an hour on air before lights out from 2 p.m. And Notebook fans, Ted will return with the Notebook from Singapore onwards, but no Notebook on Saturday or Sunday. There we go, Charles quickest in the opening practice session. How we'd like to be on the top step in front of the Tifosi on Sunday. Let's see how it gets on in the second hour of practice.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Monza for free practice number 2 for the 2022 Italian Grand Prix. We come to you from Monza in Italy, the cathedral of speed. And this circuit is awesome. It is the fastest circuit on the calendar, average speeds of over 150 going to 220 miles an hour. It is awesome. It's a 5.793 kilometre circuit. That's 3.6 miles. 53 laps ahead of us will be the case as well on Sunday. And there we see 14th of September 2008 as well was when Sebastian Vettel took his victory here as Vettel gets back in the car after giving away the car this morning to Nick de Vries. It's a somber mood here in Monza as we start the second practice session here because of the loss of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Everyone is a bit muted. Everybody is walking around with heads low as well and bowed in respect. It's a strange atmosphere to get used to as well. Mick Schumacher back in the car after giving it to Antonio Giovinazzi earlier on this morning for his first of 2 runs this season. But as the second practice session is a few moments away as well, our attention turns to Ferrari as this morning it was Charles Leclerc who topped the practice times as well with his teammate Carlos Sainz in second. But in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads 310 points, 109 clear of Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez in second and third as well. And it really is going to be a really bizarre situation. It's such a strange broadcast, and why they've cancelled Ted's Notebook as well, I've got no idea as well. Sky Sports F1 is a different broadcast as well, so I can't really understand why they've done that. Hopefully people will get a bit of a price knockoff from paying for the coverage this weekend when it's been significantly less, but still. We'll move into the weekend, and practice 2 is about to start as well here. Alongside me in the commentary box is Josh Plays as well. Ted Kravitz will be patrolling the pit lane for Sky Sports F1 as well. And tell you what, Josh, it's a weird morning here, and it's a weird situation as we get ready for practice 2 here today.
What am I going to do without Ted's Notebook?
We have to do it ourselves. That's what we'll have to do.
I will not survive. And me knocking that drink over fully would have been a very sticky situation.
Oh my. Glad it's okay. That's very much glad it's okay. I guess we'll have to replace Ted's Notebook. I'll tell you what I'll do is
Josh's playbook returns for Monza.
Yeah. And I was even thinking of get a selfie stick, put the camera on it, get Megan, and then just go out and record the Grand Prix review as well. But we'll turn it into a proper notebooks fashion. So I'll tell you what we'll do then for everybody watching. We'll get this out on Twitter as well, because there is no Ted's Notebook. As soon as the F1 race is over, we will go live for our Grand Prix review, because we're not until later anyway with IndyCar. So we will go live straight away after the Grand Prix for the Grand Prix review, and we'll get some fans in as well, and we'll have a conversation about everything as well up here in the box as well. But practice is 1 minute 30 away. Check temperature is at 38 degrees. Air temperature 27 degrees as well. All looking lovely and toasty down there as well, as George Russell's getting strapped into his car as well. The drivers were complaining this morning as well that it was a little bit cold with the rain we had in the morning sessions as well. The air was quite cold to them as well. So at least this time it's heated up a little bit as well. But there was no F1 intro, no F1 music. So it's reminded me, actually, I know Josh, you're probably very young for this as well, but this type of broadcasting reminds me a lot of the BBC F1 days back in the early in the early 2010s as well, 2009, 2010, 2011, when BBC used to have the practices on the red button, and all that would come on would be the normal F1 intro, and then it was absolute quiet before we threw down to this man, Ted Kravitz.
5 p.m. It's just gone on European time, and one man who's not taking penalties, or at least so far, is Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's #1 driver, or equal #1 driver, higher up in the points rankings certainly, and still thinking that he can win races that might lead to a late season challenge, but we'll see what that amounts to as the season goes on. One thing that has been late is his car getting ready, David. The floor was off, and they were finishing some setup changes. The mechanics were quite late in doing that, and it's been a little bit of quick step time to get Charles in the car and ready. But there's a nice note of a tribute to Queen Elizabeth II on the side of the Ferrari. I don't know if you've seen it. Just by the Shell logo. Unfortunately, there's a mechanic standing in the way. The Royal Cipher the royal initials, the E2R, that we all know so well. It's on various cars up and down the pit lane. I've seen it on the AlphaTauris and various teams and various cars carrying that royal cipher in tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, of course.
And on the very front of the Red Bull.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ted Kravitz, as well. The green light is on and the practice is underway here as well. As nice to see so many of the E2R Her Royal Highness as well, putting them out there as well. And there's so many things to talk about coming into this weekend as well. Formula One continuing on as well. I know many people on Twitter as well have been saying, well, Formula One isn't a British sport. Why is it taking so much off the Queen as well? But Formula One is an international sport, and the Queen wasn't just the Queen of England. She was the Queen of the Commonwealth as well. So many nations around the world. She was the monarch, and she's been on the throne for over 70 years as well, and she's had an impact for every single culture in the world. And it's important that Formula One as an international sport show their support and remembrance as well, and everyone in mourning as well, the same as what we did in 2005 when the Pope passed away, the same as we did in 2001 with 9/11, and the same we did in 1997 when Princess Diana's funeral was held as well. And it's that type of thing that everyone's got to remember that F1 is an international sport, but 70% is held in Britain, and the birthplace of Formula One was at Silverstone at the British Grand Prix. So F1 is an international sport, yes, but it was born in Britain, isn't it? So we've got to take a sort of signature look at this and just say we're going to be in mourning from now for this weekend, and just accept it.
So basically, does that mean when Monza's coming around on the calendar, just expect something very bad to happen?
I think so, actually. Quite bizarre. I think we're bang on there as well. That Monza's here, just expect something bad to happen, because 1997, 2001, 2005 as well, and now 2022. Although I think it was Bahrain 2005 actually that the Pope passed away, as the Ferraris head out the pit lane as well on yellow medium compound tyres as well, with yellow as well around the cars, the yellow Ferrari logo on the back of the black rear wing, and a yellow engine cover as well. It's quite a nice livery actually, although everybody was saying, can we just have a full yellow car for Ferrari for one race weekend? And they've always raced in Scuderia, haven't they? The Italian national racing colour is red, but I would love an all yellow Ferrari at just one event this year. I think that'd be awesome. What do you think?
Oh, yes, please. And I've seen a couple of memes.
Have you?
On Twitter about a photo of Charles Leclerc in the banana costume.
Is that
and then a
already
photo of Charles in his race suit where the arms have been down, and people are saying he's been peeled.
Oh dear, it's happening again.
Oh,
As they come through. What's that on the race control? Head protection material must be used as well. And then we've got the green light board as well coming on as well. So I just need to adjust that actually. So we'll go to the battle cam so I can adjust that as well. We're just seeing the Williams out there as well. First time on the board for Max Verstappen. It's a 1:23.021. Now this morning's time, Ian Burge talked to us about it as well when he was up in the commentary box. This morning's time, it didn't really work, did it? I mean, it was too much off the pace, and it was too little too late in my book, and they've got to do more to sort of keep that through as well, and have better times on the board. Otherwise, we're all going to be in a bit of trouble later.
Yeah, we will, as that is Russell going through the Ascari chicane.
Nicely done as well. I can hear it coming through. There we go. I've adjusted the race control.
1 minute 25.244, 55 minutes and 15 seconds remaining through Parabolica.
And across the line as well. What's the time for Russell? Fourth, 1:23.520. That's a good time. As they come back through. And 55 to go. Verstappen top then, on board with Charles Leclerc, and heads down through the Curta Grande towards the Della Roggia chicane, and he's up by 0.582 of a second as he comes to the Della Roggia. Don't put a wheel on the gravel, and he doesn't. He keeps it quite accelerated for the exit. And as they come through, fastest sector 1 for Leclerc at 27.081 as well. So there are times improving as Leclerc heads down, passes Lance Stroll underneath the Monza banking here on a figure of 8 circuit, because you can use the road course and the oval course at the same time, although they split the start-finish straight in half to do so. That's why you might see as well the fact that the start line here has got an extra lane towards the pit lane, because that's where it used to be, although the second lane. But the Monza banking hasn't been used as a race in a long time. As Charles Leclerc then for Ferrari on home soil comes across the line and does a 1:22.307. So he's a tenth faster than the time he did this morning already when it was a 1:22.410. So Leclerc goes fastest and he's 7/10 clear of Verstappen. Talking about drivers who've got grid penalties, by the way, coming into this event as well. We took a photo of it because Sky gave us the graphic. It is a 5-place grid penalty for Max Verstappen. It is a 10-place grid penalty for Sergio Perez as well been announced. So both Red Bulls have grid penalties, which means a Ferrari 1-2 on the grid look likely. Valtteri Bottas has been given a 15-place grid penalty in Alfa Romeo as Mick Schumacher locks up at the Rettifilo and has to take the escape road. Carlos Sainz... Hang on, I regret to say that as well, because this has also just been announced as Carlos Sainz goes off the track at Rettifilo. But it looks like Charles Leclerc might have a 1-2 here, because Carlos Sainz, Josh, has a 25-place grid penalty. Lewis Hamilton starts in the back of the grid, as does Yuki Tsunoda. So Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz all have grid penalties, which means that Charles Leclerc looks bang on for a pole position, or George Russell could get his first ever win, and for the last time, God Save the Queen could be played over the national anthem, or it would be God Save the King now as well. So that could be a wonderful tribute if George Russell could take a victory here on Italian soil for the Great Britain, really, as Verstappen goes fastest by 4 thousandths of a second. A 1:22.303. Go on, Josh.
I wonder what national anthem they will play if Lewis Hamilton wins.
Lewis Hamilton wins. That's going to be very interesting if he wins. He's right at the back. It'll be Russell.
Or Russell.
I think it would be Russell. Has to be Russell.
It
well,
has to be Russell.
It's usually the instrumental, isn't it? But as I discussed yesterday as well, God Save the King and God Save the Queen are 2 different notes. It's 2 different notes. So God Save the Queen goes longer on the piano riff, but God Save the King stops quite quickly after. So it is 2 very different national anthems, and you, as a Brit, you can tell which one's being played, God Save the King or God Save the Queen. So we will double check that as well, but I suppose it'd be lovely if Russell can do it. But Sainz on home soil, we said if Ferrari gave any of their drivers a grid penalty here at Monza, there would be carnage, and now they've done it. Sainz has had to take a 25-place grid penalty for a whole new engine, gearbox and battery component as well. So he's starting at best 18th on the grid.
Josh,
Yeah, go on.
a Chinook's just showed up on the radar.
A Chinook, oh. So is that over the... That's the one that flew over my house a while ago. Sainz crosses the line, stays third, 8/10 off the pace. So, once again, Monza you can overtake out here. And another 5 places have been added to Carlos Sainz's penalty total as Ferrari takes a new electronics control unit. So it's a 30-place grid penalty now for Carlos Sainz, which equals a back of the grid. So Sainz has to start at the back of the grid, the same as Hamilton and Tsunoda. So we'll go off the qualifying times as to who goes first. So Tsunoda will start 20th, Hamilton will start 19th, Sainz will start 18th on the grid. And then we have to see where Bottas will... Bottas probably will also start towards the back of the grid. Perez 2, and Max Verstappen can only start 6th on the grid. So we've got a Leclerc pole position with a Russell P2. That seems to be almost confirmed now, doesn't it, Josh? No matter what happens, it's going to be Leclerc on pole and Russell second. It's going to be one. It's either Leclerc or Russell on the front row of the grid. I don't think Alonso's going to throw something in there, and I don't think McLaren are either. So qualifying tomorrow just becomes a bit useless again.
Here's a replay of Sebastian Vettel porpoising down the front straight, but Is anyone having flashbacks of Zandvoort? I think I am, and unless Ferrari decide to put the wet tyre on in the dry
Yeah.
for qualifying, then I think it will be a Leclerc pole.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ferrari strategy being messed up. It is, to be honest with you, if I was George Russell, I would be thinking that the odds are in my favour this weekend for a pole position and even a race win. If I was Mercedes, I would put Russell right up there with all those penalties coming through.
Rest is a little better.
That's Ricciardo.
I'll keep you posted. I might try again then a port.
That's Ricciardo on the radio we were just hearing there as well. Yeah, to be fair, it looks almost bang on that this is McLaren's opportunity. So this is Mercedes' opportunity for a race win this year. After failing last time out at Zandvoort, we're not pinning
So
Lewis
Daniel,
Hamilton.
rear locking looks quite high, so just open the match +1 to take brake balance and come back down before the full
Team radio not paying off too well there as we hear from Danny Ricciardo. Valtteri Bottas still P20. Gwenwyn, hello Gwenwyn, says, I wonder if Oliver Giroud would fit in an F1 car. I don't think he would. Do you, Josh? I don't think he would.
Don't think so.
Big as well coming through. Shining sun now here at Monza as they come through. I think Martin Brundle is trackside as well. So Ted's notebook returns at the Singapore Grand Prix. That's but even though Ted Kravitz is here, there's no notebook as there's no F1 show either. Just the pure sessions are being broadcast by Sky F1 this weekend.
I am
Go on, Josh.
going to walk 500 miles and walk 500 more, go to Monza, and do
early on the button
Josh's
press with your
notebook by my Ted's notebook by myself.
Ricciardo,
Ricciardo.
10 seconds away.
Yeah, we call.
8 seconds.
Yeah, we call that. Look, Josh has actually gone out of the commentary box now. Here he is, though. He's coming back in. That was a quick walk. To be fair, we call the notebook for... well, I was just saying, Josh, we call the notebook for you the playbook. Josh's playbook. It's easier to keep that up as well. So you've got the playbook. I've got Birch's Bible, which I thought was fantastically funny. And Josh has got Josh's playbook.
Megan's... Megan's mind. Megan's outrage.
Yeah, Megan, yeah. Well, luckily she's not here this weekend, so we don't have to think about that one for her. Of course comes Bottas. Well, Synthal Satchel. There you go. That's one for him.
Why are you dancing or singing in the dry?
I don't know. I've got the umbrella in my hand as well. I'm just too British. It's the Queen's passing. It's me. I've got an umbrella. I've just turned too British as well. This is what we used to turn the lights on and off in the commentary box because the light switch is right behind the telly, so we have to every morning flick it like that with an umbrella. But we also use it in case it rains and we're stuck inside the commentary box, and it has been raining outside recently as well. But my bike's outside. I've just realised there's no one in the comments box, but it's bright sunshine at the moment, so we're okay. This is Charles Leclerc getting it all wrong, coming to the Dalla Rosia chicane and having to cut the corner, and he got held up by one of the Red Bulls as well, and I can't tell you which one it is because Leclerc's come back into the pit lane. I think
Perez is the only one out on track.
so. It was Perez then who held him up out there on the circuit as well. As you can see, he's the only one on the circuit, judging by the timing graphic just there as well. Okay, so as Russell goes fifth actually, 1:23.023, and it's if you look at it, Verstappen with a grid penalty, Sainz with a grid penalty, Bottas with a grid penalty.
Should be clear
Felt
behind
like
Joe.
the front left was overheating a bit on that run.
Yeah, remove them from the equation, and it goes Leclerc, Russell 1-2. Ted.
Are doing now, and I can tell you
What are McLaren
with
up
Daniel
to?
Ricciardo, he's struggling a little bit with the rear of the car. He's not quite as stable as he'd like, and there's quite a lot of rear locking going into some corners, and they've been telling him on the radio, his engineer, how to avoid that and methods that he might want to employ to stop the rear locking as he tries to slow the car down for presumably turn one and some other corners.
I tell you what, for Ed Hunter, who's our commentator on Formula E, it would be Hunter's guide, wouldn't it? That would be his as well as they come back through. I am desperately trying to think of one for Megan, and the mind is just boggling as to what we could do for her as well. Why have we lost track audio? There we go. Gwenwyn says, who's the shortest F1 driver ever? It'd be Yuki Tsunoda, wouldn't it? He's certainly one of the smallest ever. I actually don't know where Monza is. Is it in land Italy or one of the islands? It's inland Italy. It's right at the top of Italy as well. It's we're around about 2.5 hours away from Monaco as well, this track as well. It's quite close as well to Port Ricard. And tell you what, Gwenwyn, to help you with it as well, rewind the live to the top of the... Actually, Josh has got it on his screen. Never mind. I'm sure he'll get something on in a second, as you can see. So we'll go full screen when Josh has got access to it, like that. And we'll see what he's got to tell us shortly when he gets it on a map in full screen to tell us where it is. Let's take a look then. Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo down in towards turn 1 at the Rettifilo. Locks up, snatches a break and has to go across the rumble strip. Now, they've removed the first rumble strip. That caused all the problems from last year with Verstappen and Hamilton, but they haven't removed the one that rejoins the circuit. So at least they are halfway out of being stupid. As Bottas comes, and this is Zhou now on board. He comes back into the pit lane as well. 4 thousandths of a second, separate the top 2, and Josh has got where it is on the radar. Go on, Josh.
Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out.
So in terms of Italy, there it is. Look, it's not even in the boot. It's not even in the boot of Italy. It's right at the top of Italy. It's not even in the boot. I mean, I would personally enjoy it if it was in the boot area where Imola is.
Enhance.
Yeah, there it is, right down at the centre. That is where Monza is as well on the radar, Gwenwyn. So hopefully that helps you as well. I was going to say rewind right to the start of the programme.
Well, yeah, possibly, but I don't know how much front wing might be able to just open as well. If he came up to on front wing or something.
Okay.
That's Lando.
So we are boxed this lap.
That's Lando, who's on the radio there, as they come back to it. Yeah, I was going to say, Gwenwyn, rewind to the beginning of the programme and see the Earth graphic that we have, which tells you where the race is as well in the world, but Josh already helped us there brilliantly. So, yeah, it's in inland Italy, just not on the island as well. I tell you what, though, there's somebody joked as well that there was a Venice. Okay, well, they're going to go and show adverts still, even though the UK have banned adverts.
Sky Sports F1.
Well, do you know, they're not actually allowed to do that, because
I know.
In the event of Her Majesty's death, all adverts are supposed to stop because they're not allowed. So Sky are actually getting in trouble. So we'll leave them to realise that. As we'll go to the battle screen, as there's only Valtteri Bottas and Nicholas Latifi out on the circuit. So in the name of Ted Kravitz, and now it's only Valtteri Bottas out on the circuit, yeah, it's a good time for an ad break as well. And we're now focusing on the pit lane channel as we're on the battle screen as well. So have you got the pit lane channel working yet, Josh?
It is... I did have it working, but let's just have a look at that. I don't know if you can see it.
I can
but
see it.
Phone's at 4%.
Oh, yeah. The phone is at 4%.
But yes, I did have it working in Zandvoort.
Oh, yeah, that might need charging for later as it comes back through it. Don't forget our coverage of F2 and F3 remain unaffected this weekend, as does our coverage of IndyCar. We'll be live for the last race of IndyCar. Yeah, there it is. Look. Yeah, we will be live for the last race of IndyCar, and we will be live for the last races of Formula 3 and the next round of the Formula 2 Championship here this weekend. Our coverage this weekend remains unaffected as well, because we've got to have some consistency for people who enjoy Formula 1.
Consistency is key.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, and we're on radio as well in America, so for the Grand Prix this weekend. So we'll be on air 1 p.m. British. Basically, every time Sky go on air is when we're going on air. 2:30 for qualifying, 11:45 for practice 3, 1 o'clock for the race. This time Sky are on, we're on, basically, this weekend.
Please make sure that this is for this weekend only.
Yeah, just for this weekend only, because everything is so bizarre this weekend. We usually have a race build-up show anyway of an hour, but now it's even more heavily focused because we've got the minute silence for the Queen as well. And I don't think there's a Martin's grid walk either.
I have been told that there isn't, I think.
Yeah, I got told there wasn't a grid walk either, as we see Lewis Hamilton just changing some things as well in the car as Magnus and Schumacher head out on the circuit. Yeah, so there's no Martin's grid walk, and there'll be the special things as well. So everything's a bit different this weekend on the broadcasting front, but hopefully our commentary will remain the same. And I think as I've experienced this before as well in commentary of having to deal with grief, but it was a more personal grief as well for me back in 2019 at the Brazilian Grand Prix as well, with the passing of my nana as well on the Saturday morning. And Formula 1 sort of did become like a thing that I didn't want to do it, but I just went to the commentary box and completely shut the door. And I then did qualifying, and I did practice doing qualifying and all that lot, and I just put my head out of it as well because it was Brazil. It was on later in the day, so it actually became a distraction that you could just sort of tune out for a few seconds. But it is a weird situation as well, having to deal with this as well. But yeah, that 2019 event as well in Brazil. Qualifying was hard to do, but as soon as the race started as well, you do sort of turn onto autopilot a little bit as well.
Bravo 28 OK, driver default Bravo 28 OK.
And that's exactly what you're going to see this weekend as well from people as well who are grieving for Her Majesty the Queen as well. It's that type of switch. That's what I'm just trying to talk about. It's just like, you know, the visor goes down and everything as well, and bang, you're right there as well. And even the broadcasters as well, you'll get on with life as well, because mourning comes after the work as well. So you mourn later and you work first. That's what His Majesty the King is doing right now as well, as the cars are back out there on the circuit, as Mick Schumacher being followed by Kevin Magnussen, Josh. And it looks like they are actually doing some interesting runs here, that Magnussen's getting a toe off of Schumacher, we're seeing on the driver tracker now. And they're actually helping each other out a little bit.
Yeah, it does look like that, with 37 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. DRS active under the bridge with the old over-in into the Ascari chicane. Nice 1, nice 2, and nice 3. Full on the power. Use as much exit as you can up the straight.
And Magnussen's following right behind him as well, and he's in the DRS train, and Verstappen, Magnussen is quicker than Schumacher as well. It's the other racing dad you need to remember. Schumacher and Magnussen, both their fathers were in Formula 1 at the same time. Schumacher goes 19th, watch Magnussen improve up to 13th as well. Now, what was Magnussen's time? Magnussen was a 1:13.871. Schumacher was a 1:24.586. So you can see the big difference that the toe gives you here at Monza, and the toe is so important. Remember 2019 here as well, and qualifying, where we had such a strange situation going on where everybody wanted the toe and they all left the pit lane at the same time and backed each other up. So that's something they're going to want to watch out for. Oh, and it's Gianni Morbidelli. 67 Grand Prix races as well, and 1 podium. He's hanging out in the FIA, in the Ferrari garage actually he is as well, hanging out.
Third time to the chart.
Yeah, as it comes through. And Gianni Morbidelli, of course, was a great racer. But he was the main reason that the Australian Grand Prix got red flagged in 1991 as well, because even though Nigel Mansell did crash in the wall and the rain was horrendous, it was Gianni Morbidelli who crashed and on the back straightaway and was in the middle of the track, and he couldn't get out of the car. He was terrified someone was going to hit him. And also, Gianni Morbidelli was involved in the crash in the 1994 Japanese Grand Prix, which caused the race to be stopped there when the rain came down. He hit Johnny Herbert as well.
So basically, just expect a red flag when it's raining.
And Gianni Morbidelli's crashes, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice to see Gianni Morbidelli.
The diff high speed is on the car now. Because if we can't take it for the pitch tunnel, then I'd rather just take it off.
Albon's radio that you're hearing there, as Fernando Alonso glistening in the sun here at the Royal Park in Monza, Italy. And through Lesmo 1 into Lesmo 2. Slightly banked is Lesmo 2 as well, to help you around the tight apex right-hander. Down the back straightaway, open up the DRS as well. The back straightaway is called the Curva di Seringolo before you come in towards the Variante Ascari chicane. 3/10 off the pace is Alonso. Now, he could ideally get second place in qualifying as well. He could be on a front row start like he was back in Canada as well, but we're in for a bizarre qualifying tomorrow as well. That's going to be the understatement of things this weekend, as Alonso exits the last corner powers towards the line with the black front nose cone on the Alpine as well in respect of the Queen. And Alonso goes fourth on a 122.752. And Lando Norris goes into third, 122.338 on the soft compound tyres. Now that's a remarkable good time if you are anticipating a front row start. Now, Danny Rick started second here last year and took the lead, stayed there and got the win. I wonder if it could be done for Lando Norris, as Max Verstappen as well into turn one, locks up, and on the left-hand side of the tyre just has to go straight on through the Rettifilo. Here it is on board. It's going to be the right-hand side on board that locks, and the left-hand locks too. So there's a double lock-up and goes straight on off the track and continues on. Albon jumps to sixth, the 122.835 on the soft tyres as well. And I think, Josh, you've got the tyre graphics available, but then I haven't. I think most drivers are out there starting to set times on the soft tyres.
Yep. Everybody on the medium, Ted.
Okay. If you're happy, we're happy.
I think it's an electronic issue. There's a mechanic you can see just in behind that with a laptop trying to diagnose exactly what it is. I think they're just about finishing off their work and about to put that side pod back in. The mechanic with the laptop seems happy enough with what he's diagnosed, or reset, I think more to the point, and he'll be out again, but has lost 5 minutes or so of track running.
Cheers, Ted. That's Carlos Sainz then winning with a problem. Charles Leclerc was going very slowly down the back straightaway as well, coming into Ascari. I was just wondering if he had a problem as Max Verstappen comes through the Rettifilo, and there was Kim Illman, who's the F1 photographer. Some great vlogs Kim does as well on YouTube. Honestly, as an F1 commentator who's been trapped by COVID to be stuck in the commentary box here in the UK, watching his travel videos make you honestly want to go trackside more often and do all the airports again. Have you seen them yet, Josh?
I don't think I have, but it's happened again.
Oh no, what's happened? Timing screens.
Verstappen, 122.303.
Oh.
Leclerc, a 122.307. Norris, a 122.338.
So the top three separated by 0.035 of a second. That might go a little bit worse, but this morning Leclerc was ahead of Verstappen by 4 thousandths of a second. This afternoon it's a different 4 thousandths of a second coming up now, as well as into the Parabolica goes Max Verstappen with a yellow flag in sector 2.
8.
Okay, let's have a look then. Turn 8. That's Schumacher.
6.
Yeah.
6.
121.807, and it's Mick Schumacher who stopped on the driver tracker coming out of the Dalla Roja chicane, and he's pulled off towards the Lesmo. This will be a red flag, so something's wrong with Schumacher.
Cool switch delta is not correct to the feedback you're giving.
Well, Schumacher stopped on the circuit. This will have to be a red flag because there's no... Well, it could actually get a virtual safety car out. It depends. I would put VSC out, actually. Let's see what they decide to do.
Close to the Marshall post.
Red flag.
It's a red flag.
Yeah,
that would be. Marshall post 5.1.
Well, the timing screens are still showing yellow flags on my end, but the timing monitor itself on the graphics, and now the track itself is showing red flags. So the session has stopped. Yeah, there's the official confirmation of the timing screen that red flag has now come out. This is Schumacher. Let's listen through the Curve de Grande. Dalla Roja, Schumacher radio. Oh, we got cut out.
Big traffic by with the house. I don't know
I'm
what.
still investigating, but we'll start a push lap and then see what happens. Let me know if you don't feel power.
I think I seized the engine or something. What the hell happened?
Okay, we're checking everything. Stop the car, please. Stop the car. Try to stop on the right-hand side if you can. Stop the car.
That's really bizarre. He got a big block of oversteer coming out Dalla Roja, and when he was fighting that, it was like the car just sort of clicked out and it just ground to a halt as red flag is out, session is suspended as well. That's a really odd one, isn't it, Josh? I've never seen that type of retirement happen before.
It really is, and stop on the right-hand side because that's on the inside of the circuit and you can get it back quickly.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I forgot about that. Although they can't really push the car there either
because it's
fire point.
A fence and then there's a Marshall post blocking the exit, so it's there until the end of the session.
Yeah,
I
that's,
think Steiner a little bit worried, and
I had a cut out.
they're
I
gonna,
cut out of power.
they're gonna have to crane it.
We're still
Yeah.
investigating, but we'll start a push lap and then see what happens.
Yeah, I reckon they're gonna have to crane this away.
I think I seized the engine or something. What the hell happened?
Okay,
Nearest
we're checking everything.
crane would be
Stop
at the
the car,
cicada.
please. Stop the car. Try to stop on the right-hand side if you can. Stop the car.
Yeah, it's too far away. Too far away.
Or at turn 6 at... Where's... I think. That would be the nearest.
Yeah, so safe. Red flag is out.
Rain. Yeah.
Well, this is where it becomes a little bit more entertaining. We sort of just have to wait up here in the comms box and until it's decided and decreed.
Actually,
Go say again.
is it actually that Laguna Seca only has 4 parts of the track which are named?
For my knowledge, yes.
So, Daniel, just a question before we start repairing the high fuel. So the main time loss
Oh
in
dear.
turn 5. So it's just a question of do you want to go out and try the soft tyre again?
Do you want to go out and try that tyre again?
Yes, please.
We never heard a response to that. That was strange. I thought we were.
Everyone's on the soft tyre. Like everyone now.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, this is to me indicating that we're going to see a lot of action starting when we go green again. So this be prepared to see what could happen. Go on, Josh.
A lot of cars and beam round Laguna Seca, so it's gonna be fun.
A lot of cars, did you say, being beamed around there, did you say?
Now playing Laguna Seca on beam, NG.
Oh, right, I see. I was wondering what you were doing then.
Game which I brought onto the Bomberito 500, that one.
Oh, the Bob Marino 500. What a annoying little broadcast that was as well. How long was it?
No,
2
I don't
hours?
call it little.
2
It
hours?
was quite large.
Yeah, 2 hours we were waiting around doing nothing there as well, just to try and get
At
things
least
started.
at least it's going to be into turn 6, into turn 5, into turn 4, into turn 3, and then just the Andretti.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a weekend at the moment here as well. I just need to flip this vertically in order so I can actually flip vertical. No, flip horizontal. Somebody help with OBS as it comes through. Well, what we really need to... There we go. What we really need to do right now is go down to Ted Kravitz, but Ted isn't actually standing by at the moment, as he is reporting on other facts. So that's why the red flag's out for a while. There we go. The camera's now on the battle screen, so I can actually sit down and take a look at things as well, and Josh on the Discord as well, as the red flag is out here. And hello, Synthol. It says, hey, pain for Hajar during that qualifying session. Yeah, I saw your message, but it wouldn't let me respond. My internet's been dodgy on my phone. But yes, I agree, Synthol. That is big, major problems for them as well, coming into this weekend as well, in the final of the Formula 3. So all of that is to come, and I know Synthol might not be well for Formula 3 as well. Session will resume at 17:35. That is in less than a minute's time. That we will go to green flag conditions, as well as we'll return now as well to Sky. Hearing the broadcast as well from them in the background with the same pit music. Josh's internet being dodgy, what a surprise. I saw that. That's you, Josh, as well. Yep, it really is. And still being...
That, Chinook. Yeah, those were Chinooks.
Oh, they were Chinooks. Ah.
Yeah. Tracker's just loaded up and it's showing the whole route. It's up by...
Yeah.
Alnwick. Up north of Newcastle and Sunderland. It's doing what it's... Oh, and very Seidel on the pit lane.
Let's go down to him.
In the morning, but also now complete the program as planned. Quick mix of adjustments to the car that seem to go in the right direction. At the same time, I think still early days. We need to wait now until everyone has the soft run in and then actually see where we are. In general, we think this track here doesn't really suit our car that much, but we've seen so far this season that we are struggling more on these now downforce tracks. but at the same time, this is obviously a very specific circuit here, so we keep trying hard to get up the order as much as we can.
So if the car's a little bit draggy on the straights here, which is what I'm trying to read between the lines that it might be, what could you do to reduce that drag and help give you a bit more speed on the straights?
Well, we obviously tried to come in here to take off the car whatever we could in terms of wings, winglets, etc., in order to make sure we have a competitive top speed. At the same time, obviously, you have to make a compromise there, losing downforce, which you still need here in the corners. We know that our main competitor in the Constructors' Championship, Alpine, is usually very strong so far this season on this kind of tracks, or on the lower downforce tracks. So that's why we actually need to see where we end up.
Andreas, it's Karun. Well, I want to pick you up on that, because last time out at Zandvoort, we saw Fernando Alonso have a very strong race. They seemed to suffer in qualifying, but they look quicker than you on a race on a track which was high downforce. And obviously we're going, you mentioned this weekend, you expect to be behind, but after this, are you concerned? Because we're going to Singapore, Suzuka, you know, those are high downforce circuits coming up.
I'm not concerned, it's just the reality where we are right now. Alpine is doing a great job, which we have to acknowledge, and we simply have to keep working hard in order to still get more out of our current car and the package that we're having. I think if you look back at Zandvoort, it was a stronger weekend for us, more in line than Hungary with more downforce. But at the same time, Alpine is strong there as well. So Lando did a great job in qualifying and also in the race, but then Fernando had the advantage of a new tyre set towards the end of the race, which gave him the position in the last safety car. And yeah, that's the situation where we're in right now. But despite being in P5 right now, and despite the Alpines having a good run, we definitely will not give up. We will give it all every single weekend to try to make sure that we give the Alpines a hard time until the last race of the season.
I'm sure you will, Andreas. Thanks ever so much indeed. We'll be back with you later on this weekend. We've got some...
Absolutely. Thank you very much to Andreas Seidel there, who was talking as well with the Sky Sports F1, and I was just wondering if we were going to hear as well from Martin Brundle. We are indeed. Martin.
Very popular place to stand, and that's where we find Martin Brundle. Martin, good afternoon.
Indeed, officially turns 8, 9 and 10. The Ascari chicane sounds much better. And if this doesn't shout Monza racetrack, what does? Look at the trees. We're in the Monza Park, of course. We come through there underneath the old bank circuit, over 200 miles an hour, slow the car down, around 120 through the middle part, 150 miles an hour through the exit as you diagonal the straight, and the Parabolica corner is a long way down there. We see the car, the red lights flashing on the back of the cars. They get down there, harvesting battery power when they're under braking. And it really is spectacular to see the confidence the drivers have got as they chuck the car in. The cars are very stable indeed. I can see some new sponsors on some of the cars. The yellow livery of the Ferrari looks great, really stands out. Again, the driver's numbers stand out. There used to be a tree just here in the middle, right dead ahead as you came in to the Ascari chicane, a big tree with a barrier around it. Now there's a massive gravel trap. And this is quite interesting on the outside while we're waiting for some more cars to come through. Tech Pro barrier, a gap of 2 more Tech Pros and some space. Then you've got 3 rows of tyres all bolted together, a gap, 3 more rows of tyres bolted together, another gap, and then the barrier. So if you do happen to go flat out with brake failure or stuck throttle or whatever, you're probably not going to hurt yourself, and that is a good thing. So yeah, we've got these massively high cranes. Imagine being in this crane up to your top left. Lee, you've probably been up there for a weekend. The helicopter flies underneath that. The teleheli comes underneath that, and underneath the one over here to the right as well, like a high action part of the track, as then the McLaren goes through, sparking like crazy on the way and sparking through the exit, not bothering to pick up a slipstream down there. We've seen Teens and Max then slings the car in. Doesn't look like a particularly hot lap, actually, but I think such is the stability of the car, it can be quite deceiving sometimes. The Aston Martin moves around a little bit more in here. They're probably the only team that's really gone for true sort of Monza low downforce. As Charles Leclerc there prepares for a lap in the Ferrari, and it's just idyllic. There isn't a cloud in the sky. It is just perfect. The leaves are turning on the trees very early this year, and that can be a problem as well on race day, especially if it gets a bit blowy. You tend to get stuff dropping down from the canopy of the trees, and well, it's a very special place to be. Back to you in the comm box.
Thank you very much, Martin. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself out there as well, as Fernando Alonso comes by that part of the track as well now, as he heads down the back straight with Yuki Tsunoda just behind him. We've just had it confirmed to us as well that there was definitely more to come as well. Carlos Sainz has a back of the grid penalty confirmed, as he has taken another control electronics element of a PU as well, and he joins Hamilton and Tsunoda with the same penalty. So that is Carlos Sainz on home soil, Josh, starting at the back of the grid, and Tifosi might just now revolt against that of Mattia Binotto.
Well, you've said it. Tifosi are going to try and throw Mattia Binotto off the nearest cliff. And here's a replay of George Russell, and as we watch it...
Has it Lesmo too?
Yeah, very, very safe Martin Brundle there, but I would not be wanting to stand there. And
2 seconds. Got quite a bit more bossing down the straight, says Russell. I'm sure we'll hear that on the TE, on the PLC in a second, the pit lane channel that we've got up here. Ashwan said hello, Ashwan. Hopefully you are doing okay, my friend, and enjoying the coverage this weekend, as always. And continue what you were saying, Josh, about not wanting to be Martin Brundle. As we heard from Russell there, go on.
Yeah, not wanting to be Martin Brundle there. That's very close, right up by the Armco, but the amount of barriers are there, it just shows the amount of speed that they go down the back straight, as Daniel Ricciardo is now with pedal cam 2 at the left. If you're watching with us, 186 miles per hour down there through Ascari. 1, 2, 3. They've got a bit of Flovis paint on the front and left side of Daniel Ricciardo. Coming up to the famous Parabolica, Vettel chased him behind. Vettel 2 personal bests, and this is Ted.
Not too much drag. Is the Mercedes, and they brought 2 new developments here on the car this weekend that are specifically designed to be a bit more slippery in a straight line and to cut drag, and that's the front wing and the rear beam wing, which is a little wing that flicks up either side of the exhaust pipe underneath the front wing. And the Mercedes aerodynamicist here on the left-hand side, as we look, is just about to put some aero paint, some Flovis paint on this front wing to just to verify this new front wing flap at the top and just see what it's doing, or some bits further down. Just having a look which bits are about to get painted here. Or is it the front? Oh, it is. It's around the front wishbones. That's interesting. All right, so that gives us some other clue. It's always a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, Crofty, when you see which bits they want to learn about, is put it on the inboard section of the wishbone and then see where that air is going, because clearly there's a question mark about the air that comes through those front wishbones and where it goes next, and that paint gives you the absolute proof.
Cheers, Ted. As they come back through, car's still circulating. Hamilton says that the car is very unstable. I think he just said there on the computers. We see it now as well. Coming through into the Dalla Roggia chicane as well, and looks quite stable to me as it comes back through on the straightaway. 15 minutes to go of this practice session as well. And I'll tell you one thing as well. Lewis Hamilton did say earlier on as well how much he wants to sort of get back on top, and he's very close to winning a race this weekend, this season as well. The way everyone's shaping it with grid penalties, he's not going to get it this weekend. But a brand new power unit and brand new components going into Singapore, that's got to be the biggest advantage they've ever had.
Okay, box.
Go on.
Doesn't look like the
I think it
lap
will
is a
be.
response to what we need. We just pick more understeer and
Hamilton
semi-shoot the
has
corner.
a lot.
Yeah.
That was Gasly's radio.
Get the throttle like that.
We have to understand what's happening.
That's Gasly's radio. Go on, Josh.
Yep. We good. Hamilton's had a lot of success in Singapore, if I remember rightly. As we see Hamilton on screen now going through the chicane at turn 1.
He's won it 2000. Yeah, he's won it 2009, 2014, 2017, and 2018. So 4 times he's won it. And he's the only Mercedes driver to win as well at Singapore. So yeah.
Hey, Hamilton's successful at Singapore. Car performance rankings: Verstappen fastest, Sainz second, Perez third, Leclerc fourth, and Russell fifth. Again, Mr. Consistent.
And Verstappen's getting a toe off of Ricciardo coming in towards turn number 1 as well. So that was a nice little drag they did as it continues on through the Rettifilo down the Curva de Grande. Easy way to go on, Josh.
They wanted to bring the old track back by doing a drag race.
Old track is magical as well. Have you? I've played the banking as well. Project Cars, I think it was, or it could have been Assetto Corsa. It was one of the two. But
Sergio Perez.
Yeah, straight down towards turn 1 as well. Not great there as it comes through.
Massive lock up.
And he's flat. He was on a long run as well, Sergio Perez, so he's completely destroyed that. And he's still down in 6th position as well. Here he is again into turn 1.
Medium tyres.
I did think what that was, that smoke we saw when Hamilton was going through as well with Sainz as well through turn 1.
Because that was a lot of smoke.
Yeah, I was thinking what had happened, but that's now we know, is Perez locking up. Yeah, Turbo reminds us all here as well on the YouTube chat as well that a post was posted on the gates of Buckingham Palace. It read, "The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon at Thursday, 8th September 2022, 6:30 p.m. United Kingdom time, West British Summer time." Yeah, official time of death as well was announced for the Queen as well at 4:30 p.m. British Summer time as well yesterday afternoon.
I knew that it would have been a couple of hours before because it took 4 hours for Diana.
Yeah, to get the official confirmation.
And basically what happens is someone out at Balmoral phones London.
Yeah.
And said the code word for
London Bridge is down.
London Bridge is down. Then they have to send it to all of the Commonwealth nations, and then
the BBC,
and then all of the radio stations have to.
Overtake.
Yeah, I need to reset my display, my Delta.
That is Perez on the radio as he goes 6th as well with a 1:26.828. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, then all of the radio stations have all of their blue lights flashing, and then the media gets it, like the news, when that happens.
What about Formula 2 qualifying, guys? Question mark, question mark. That hasn't happened yet. Formula 2 qualifying's after this as well. As we heard from Russell.
Deployment's a bit all over the place at the moment.
I think it's affecting both cars.
That's energy deployment affecting both cars as well at the moment. F3 qualifying has happened, and Isaac Hadjar crashed as well, and it's really affected everything going forward as well. Isaac Hadjar may have lost the opportunity. He comes in as the championship leader, but standing at the back of the field as well, he might have lost it as well. So we're in for a very entertaining Formula 3. Formula 2 qualifying is after practice 2 here as well, but we won't be broadcasting that live.
Deployment's a bit all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, we've only got permission to do that on the British Grand Prix weekends as well, to do watch-alongs for F2. Very weird. But that'll be next. Tomorrow you can join us for the F2 Sprint and the F2 as well feature. Go on, Josh.
4:30 p.m. was when it was... everyone started passing notes around the House of Commons.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, that's when they got.
And
that's when,
that's when BBC went all black in the
Yeah.
news.
Just quickly as well. Oh, where's the YouTube chat?
Yeah, where is
I went to it and it's not there. Here it is. Turbo says the Queen was a influential person. My condolences to the family. Absolutely, and all our condolences as well. To come forward there as well.
And multi-beat Spark 2. Spark 2.
Spark 2, we just heard from Valtteri Bottas there on the radio as well. As Leclerc into the Ascari chicane. 3 seconds off the pace at the moment. But looking remarkably well down the back half of this section as well. Pit lane chance 46 seconds behind live TV pictures, which is slightly annoying when you're trying to think. Onboard cameras are better though, and we have that onboard mix as well available to us on here as well. As we can take a look at up to 3 onboard cameras and then the onboard mix. I'm just looking at Charles Leclerc's lap actually. He goes third on a 1:26.062, and I'm just rewinding as well on the thing here to watch his lap time as he came into the last sector. He's proporting an awful lot coming in towards the Ascari chicane as well as he into the brakes as well. Flicks the car through. Nice over the bumps as well he was. So Leclerc...
There's no grip in sector 2.
At Sergio as he comes through. So yeah, a little bit of a thing there as well for Leclerc as he comes back out. Who's on onboard camera 3? Oh, it's Fernando Alonso. Oh, Megan will be happy about that. There's a dedicated Fernando Alonso channel. As we look at the Alpines as well. Turbo says, I found out about this in a funny story. I was running late for school and then my mum shouted, "The Queen has died, oi." And then I was like, what? Half of the internet is filled with heartbreak and half, the other half memes. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like nowadays as well. But it's like especially for those in the UK as well, it's like everything's just come to a shuddering halt. And the same for around the world, the Commonwealth as well, actually. And even non-members of the Commonwealth as well is it's become a weird situation as well. There's 8 minutes to go in this second practice session as well. PSGL last night was very weird. I just want to point out as well. 7 drivers backed out the last minute because of it. And we were actually questioning with our bosses there. We've got a yellow sector 2. It's gone green now, so it was a very brief yellow.
Oh my goodness.
Or whatever that was. But yeah, PSGL last night, we went on air half an hour after finding out that she had died. And so our pre-show got scrapped last minute, and we had a 5-minute build-up talking about the Queen and a minute's silence as well. So it was a very weird situation as well. Turbo says, I've been watching the BBC for 5 hours as well. My mind thinks it's a dream because you would never think the Queen would die like this. Absolutely. I think that's what we were talking about this morning, Josh, wasn't it, in practice 1? We don't... It's almost like it's not happening. It's a very weird situation.
Someone... certain BBC Radio Scotland person's going to get told off.
Why?
At 5:30 he let the announcement slip on live on air.
An hour before the official one.
Yeah.
Oh. Big no-no. Big no-no. As Esteban Ocon comes in towards turn number 1. Nicely deals with the chicane as well. And this is a replay of Alexander Albon into the Rettifilo, locking up the left-hand side tyre. He's on hard compounds. He makes the apex, though, to come through. So Scott, let's go on board.
Diff settings in the middle of a corner.
Ted.
Entry, mid, exit, torque 3.
Yes, we can see it while you're talking.
Going into engine.
That was the yellow. Bottas off track
of the lap, and then those 2 lap times at the bottom of his screen. I think maybe that's the fastest and the target and his own fastest bottom left. I think his own bottom right. Correct me if I'm off the track on that one. I think
you're right.
That's what those 2 lap times are. So so
we're back in 7, Lance. Back in 7. Stay in 7.
Wondering what I would look at if I was in the cockpit. Probably straight ahead at the track going. But no, I was just talking about Aston Martin and their rear wing. So having Nick de Vries run the old, not Monza-specific rear wing in free practice 1, they've both gone to the new rear wing, and I don't think those times of Aston Martin at the towards the bottom of the timesheet show what that car is really capable of. I think they've had an issue or two in the session. Got higher hopes than that this weekend, but yeah, the new rear wing on both Aston Martins now, and Sebastian Vettel running another tribute helmet to his first win in Monza. On the side of it, it says 14th of September,
very
2008. Of course, is winning Toro Rosso, and then on the other side of it, Monza 100 years from 1922 to 2022.
The weekend, as I'm sure you remember it well, where Sebastian Vettel became the youngest pole sitter.
He did, and the youngest ever race winner.
He still owns the pole record as he retires from Formula One at the end of this season. And that win for Toro Rosso in 2008, well, we've just about dried out from that weekend, one of the wettest we've ever experienced here. But he absolutely...
Yeah, it really was a soaking, absolutely soaking weekend back in 2008 as well. The race started behind the safety car, and as well, and when the field got released as well, it was Seb Vettel who just sort of checked out as well, and everyone was predicting Ferrari and Hamilton this, Hamilton that as well, even at the time as well, and it was just unbelievable that the pace came, and Vettel took the win as well, and he's 17th at the moment as well. And I saw one thing on TikTok a few days ago is turn 5 incident involving cars 22 Tsunoda has been noted for failing to slow under yellow flags. That's from the race control that you can see flashing up on the screen there with Josh. So that is bizarre and a little bit worrying as well. Let's see, Ashran says so much love from India to the Queen with her prayer emoji as well. Absolutely agree, and it's such a heartbreaking day as well, this whole week as well. King Charles III will now rule the United Kingdom as well. Good luck, Charles, and I just can't take my mind off the Queen. She was such a sweet lady. She didn't mind anything, absolutely. There's what a yellow flag out there on the track again, Josh. Can we detect... No, it's got green again, so where that was, I don't know. There's Sector 9, Sector 1 as well, so I think Leclerc's gone off the track. As we see Sainz in the replay, it was Sector 9 and it came through. So... Say again?
Turn 7.
That is down at Les Mode 2, so it was Tsunoda, I think, as well. Yeah, Tsunoda has already got a 10-place grid penalty for failing to slow for yellow flags. And his reprimand limit being reached last time out for stopping on the circuit as well. That was the only thing they had as well. He got 2 reprimands last time out as well. Driving back to the pit lane with your seatbelts not done up and stopping in a dangerous position as well. Deliberately as well as Albon.
That's at the exit of Ascari.
Yeah, look at the sparks flying in from underneath the car as well. That's really bizarre.
And here is a replay of Les Mode 2, and it was
Bottas again. That's the second time. Here's the radio.
Again on the gravel, same place. But all good. Okay, copy.
2 things for Bottas in 2 minutes as well. Turbo says, I feel bad for Prince Harry. Arrived 15 minutes late and didn't get to say goodbye to his beloved grandmother. Actually, Prince Harry and...
Again on the gravel, same place. But all good. Okay, copy.
Actually, a little bit of news for you as well is that the only 2 people by the Queen's bedside was Princess Anne and Prince Charles, who is now King Charles. Everybody else arrived late. Everyone arrived there late. William, Andrew, and Edward, and everybody else, they arrived at 5:30.
Yeah.
But Harry arrived 6:45, didn't he? So 15 minutes even after the announcement was made. So Harry missed it. They all missed it. But Harry has faced a little bit of criticism again, as we see Charles Leclerc causing the yellow flag for locking up and missing the apex at the Delaroche chicane. No, he doesn't. So what that yellow was for, I don't know. But Harry has... William arrived moments before a death. The rest arrived late. No. William drove them all. So definitely it was announced by the BBC that the only 2 people by the bedside was Charles and Anne. They were the only 2. Although if you know something as well, that's probably it. Well, I've been isolating the comms box, so if you know something else as well, that's probably more info. The checker flags come out, actually, so that's caught me by surprise. But yeah, Harry's faced a lot of criticism because he flew out of Oh, hello, we've all gone now. He flew out of Balmoral at 8 a.m. this morning, and it takes an hour to get to the airport from Balmoral. So he left at 7 a.m. this morning as well, and has already left the United Kingdom again. So proves how much Harry is taking from the situation. My front left is flat spotted, says Leclerc as well over the radio as well. Heartbreaking what happened between Harry and William as well. And they're no longer on speaking terms. But hopefully this can do something to bring them back together just a little bit. Practice 2 concludes then here as well from this session. And it's Carlos Sainz who ends fastest, but it has a back of the grid penalty. Verstappen second, but has a 5 place grid penalty. Leclerc third, Norris fourth. So take from that what you will. Coming into this weekend as well, it's going to be a really strange situation, as I'll stand up now in the comms box to round us out. As I was sat down for a little bit, now I can stand up again. But that's it. There's no music either, by the way, this weekend. Well, at least today, there's been no idents. I think that's just for today. Tomorrow, I think practice 3 will have the usual music from Formula 1. But certainly at the moment, it's been a basic offering for the races this weekend, with a simple introduction of the F1 graphic as well, and no details about tyres or anything either, which I found a bit weird. What is this? The FIA stewards, Josh, read it out, because I can't bend down that fast.
Under investigation for Sonoda failing to slow under yellow flags at turn 5. Would that be...
Gap 1.2.
Another penalty.
Yeah, I can't keep up, so.
The Mick Schumacher incident, but that was at the entrance to turn 6, and yellow flags are before the incident.
Could be.
Maybe.
I'd say that's a penalty coming, personally, as well. And the one problem, actually, with this weekend as well is that the F1 Twitter are not tweeting as much as they usually do, which means the information that we get up in the comms box, which is already not a lot, is actually dramatically less this weekend up here in the comms box. So apologies if we can't do our job normally as well this weekend as well. Penalty for who, says Matthew. It could be another penalty for Yuki Tsunoda, who already has a 10-place grid penalty for reaching his reprimand limit, but he's now under investigation for failing to slow under the yellow flags. Turbo says, I remember I was awake when I saw a notification that read London Bridge is down. And even though I'm not from the UK or Europe, I knew that meant what that meant exactly. Everyone knew what that meant. Yeah, everybody knew. You're completely right there, my friend. Everybody knew what that message meant as well.
Apparently.
Go on, Josh.
The car with Andrew, Edward, Sophie and William got through the gates at 5:05, so 35 minutes after.
Yeah. So, and she passed away at 4:30, I thought so. Just to update you, Matthew, about who's got the grid penalties this weekend. Max Verstappen has a 5-place grid penalty. Sergio Perez has a 10-place grid penalty. Valtteri Bottas has 15 places. Back of the grid starts for Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda. So Tsunoda's already starting at the back of the grid, so maybe this will be a bigger fine for the FIA. Given there's Matteo Binotto, the team principal and managing director of Ferrari. One of their drivers starting from the back of the grid, the other maybe going for pole position, but it's really bizarre at the moment what we are going to see as the last car sets off the grid.
Okay, Lando, we are the
Sebastian
second
Vettel.
car, as I know you know, so if we could build.
No, I won't be by the end of this lap.
As long as we've got a 20-second gap.
I'm ahead.
And away goes Vettel. Lights out, race on, as he heads down there as well. Let's take a look then at the practice 2 results as well. No music over the background, of course. Here's the times then from practice 2. Carlos Sainz is the fastest driver here for Ferrari, so Ferrari completely wipe out Friday here for practice. Max Verstappen is second, Charles Leclerc is third, Lando Norris 4th, George Russell is 5th, Sergio Perez 6th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, Esteban Ocon 8th, Fernando Alonso 9th, and Alexander Albon rounds out the top 10 positions. Further down, it's 11th for Daniel Ricciardo, 12th for Zhou Guanyu, 13th for Valtteri Bottas, 14th for Pierre Gasly, 15th for Yuki Tsunoda, 16th Kevin Magnussen, 17th Sebastian Vettel, 18th for Lance Stroll, 19th for Nicholas Latifi, and Mick Schumacher is in 20th position. Well, that's the end of the second practice session. You're back up now in the comms box with myself and Josh as well. Josh, what was your moment from practice 2?
Difficult one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No idea what happened with Tsunoda. Yet to see a replay. Of course, no F1 show and Ted's notebooks.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to now tell who's who and who's where as well. 3 shows left then, 4 for us, 3 for Sky. Practice 3 underway, 11:45. Qualifying from 2:30 in the race on Sunday from 1 p.m. as well. As Max Verstappen comes into the pit box, does a practice start and clears out the grid as well. So, that's it. We're all done here. My thanks to Ian Birch for this morning's first practice. My thanks to you, Josh, as well, for both practice sessions today. My thanks to all of you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, 11:45 a.m. as well, for all of the action from practice 3. But we will be joining you for Formula 3's sprint race early in the morning, and then, of course, the Formula 2 sprint race in the afternoon after quali. And as well on Sunday, Formula 3 and Formula 2's races before Formula 1. And on Sunday evening, the last race of the IndyCar season as well. So you can join us all for that. Thanks to you, Josh. Thanks to you at home. We'll see you later. It's been a very, very difficult day as well. Less than 24 hours since the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. But it's unusual to say as well that life does go on, and motorsport, Formula 1 especially, doesn't stop. But hopefully, in the grieving world, we've all put a smile on your face today with some good action out there on the circuit. Thanks for your company. We'll see you tomorrow for practice 3. Bye-bye.